Hello everyone. I'm standing right over here with my hand on my oven door so that I don't forget what I'm doing. I'm famous for getting a project started, like, putting a half a cup of butter in the microwave just to soften it a little and then walking away and coming back to a puddle. Right now, I have slivered almonds in the oven and I do not want them to be black. So I'm not turning my back on them until they are ready. At which point I'm going to introduce you to, or maybe remind you of, some really quick candy recipes for Christmas. I have 3 of them for you today. Well, I managed to accomplish that. I got them nice and toasty without getting them too dark. I don't even think that's a step you need to take, but I enjoy doing that. So anyway, I'd like to start at the beginning. Hello, my name is Colleen and welcome back to my channel. I have been away for a while looking after a family member who had to have surgery, and I come home and find myself way behind in what I would normally do for the Christmas season. So instead of just brushing it off completely and saying, oh well, next year, I decided to bust out the really quick cheater recipes for a few things and see if I can't at least get a couple of things put into jars and put away so that when we have company over the holidays, I have something to offer them. Have a really simple recipe that anyone could make at home. You may not have all the ingredients right at hand. The one thing that you may not have is graham crackers, and we're going to use the whole graham crackers for this recipe. So I am just going to take them. I have got my oven on 400 degrees. I've got a cookie sheet that I have lined with tin foil. Normally I don't use tin foil for any kind of baking, but I want to keep the butter that we're going to put into this all contained in this. So if you have, the cheap tin foil you use to cover things with, and then better tin foil, this is the time to use the better one so you don't have it seep through and lose all your butter. So I'm going to take these graham crackers and I'm just going to line this sheet with the graham crackers. It doesn't take very long to do this. It doesn't matter, if they're neat. They should all touch though, because at the end of this, you're going to break it up kind of like maybe like a brittle, I guess. This is definitely a favorite my mom used to make. In fact, it was something we gave a class on years before it was popular to do. One of the classes that we gave in our church basement was to make this using a microwave. And then it showed up at every single potluck after that. Somebody brought it along. So it was a good thing to teach because we all benefited from it in the end. Now, sometimes to get them all to fit, you just have to break off a little corner. And with graham crackers, that's not a hard thing to do. So I'm just going to carry on, fill the pan. And I think I'm going to be able to fill this pan quite easily with 2 sleeves. So the graham crackers that we buy come in a box that has 3 sleeves of crackers like this one here. So you just open what you need because really it isn't something that you use all the time. So I've got my crackers ready. I've got my toasted almonds ready. I'm just going to reach and grab them and I'm going to sprinkle them on top. And they turned out beautifully. So I'm just going to try and cover them all. They're still warm, in fact. And just make sure that everybody gets some. Now, I've seen people make this and not use almonds on it, but just use, wait until it comes out of the oven. When it's just about ready to come out of the oven, they pull it out a little bit early. They add chocolate chips to the top of it, and then they just spread the chocolate chips around so that they have some chocolate in it as well. So that's entirely up to you. I'm sure you could use any kind of nut you wanted to as well. Walnuts would probably be, chopped up fine would probably be good on this as well. But this is the way my mom made it. So making it today helps me bring back memories of her. So, got the almonds on there. Now the next step is to melt 1.5 cups of butter, which I'm just going to put onto the stove to melt. And again, I have to keep my eye on it because it can go from melted to, you know, burned pretty quickly. And then once the butter is melted, I'm going to stir in 1 cup of brown sugar, and I'm just going to bring it to a boil. And once it's all boiled, we stop that process. So join me back in a moment and I will get that taken care of. Now here I am back. I brought them to a boil and it's still bubbly. So while it's still bubbly, I'm just going to pour it all over the graham crackers. I'm going to switch hands because I'm right-handed and that's hard to do that way. And I'm going to continue on here. This is a big pan. I hope I've made enough, but I know once it gets in the oven and gets softened and spreading around that it will go a long ways. So just gonna clean this pot out. None of these recipes that I'm making today are what I would call budget recipes for sure, but they're also only something that I make once a year, and I try to budget for that we would have these treats for over the holidays. So although usually I can do them quite a bit cheaper if I'm making everything from scratch, which, as I said, I'm not able to do this year because I was away. So I can't beat myself up. I was doing what I needed to do at the time, so I am happy to be able to do this. Now, this does make a lot, this pan full. The other recipes I'm going to show you are, you know, don't make as much, but one of the things you do with this is you break it into chunks afterwards. And you could definitely do a pan like this and then chop it into pieces and put it into small containers to give to friends for gifts too. If you've got someone special in your life that you'd be willing to share this with, because it's really good and people don't necessarily want to share it. So I'm going to put this into the oven now and I'm going to watch it closely. I'm going to set a timer because it shouldn't be in there more than about 8 minutes, but I'm going to start checking it at the 5-minute mark and make sure that it's not getting too brown too fast. So I'll be back in a minute. Well, I hope you can see what's going on here. This is all bubbly, which is what we want it to be. And we are just going to set it aside now and let it cool completely before we take, well, I shouldn't say cool completely. We're going to cool it about 5 or so minutes. And then I am going to come back with my knife. So it won't take long and we'll be able to bite into this sweet treat. Now here is the graham cracker candy, and I'm just going to reach for a knife. And now on to the next recipe. And again, this is not a scratch recipe. This is just a hurry up and get things ready for company recipe. So I'm going to take 10 Oreo cookies with the stuff, you know, with the icing still inside. And I'm going to chop them up. Not super fine, but definitely want to make them small enough to bite and hide in a piece of fudge. Doesn't take long to do that. And we remember that we are going to cut this fudge again anyway when we cut it in the pan. And so you don't have to be quite as careful. So won't take that. And, oh, had a piece fly off. So I'm going to now take, I've got 2 bags of Chippets white chocolate chips. I'm just going to wipe out my bowl. I had water in it earlier and I don't want water in the Chippets. So I'm just going to dump these 2 bags of Chippets into my handy dandy 8-cup Pyrex bowl that I use for a lot of things. I'm sure if you've watched me very long, you know that I use it a lot. And I'm going to use about 3/4 of a can of sweetened condensed milk, whatever brand you're comfortable with. I use Eagle brand, which is readily available here in Canada. I picked a perfect day to do this. It's minus 14 degrees outside, and so that I think is around 6 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a nice day to be inside. Picked a gooder. Now I'm just going to set that aside for a minute, because once I start to microwave this, then I don't want to turn my back on it. So I'm just going to turn a plastic bag inside out, and I'm going to take a little knob of butter out of my butter dish. And I have decided to use these little tin foil pans for my fudge because I think I'll be giving it away in the tin. I'll just wrap it up and give it away like that. And then they can cut it or do whatever they choose to do with it. So I'm just going to butter the bottom and part way up the side, because this recipe doesn't make a huge amount. Now, I've still got some left over, which I'll use for my next one. So I'm just going to turn the bag back the right way around and set it aside for the next recipe. So now I'm going to go to the microwave, and in 10 seconds, so now I'm going to go to the microwave, and I am going to microwave this mixture in 10 seconds. So now I'm going to go to the microwave, and I'm going to microwave this mixture, which is just the white chocolate chips and the sweetened condensed milk, in 10-second intervals, and stirring in between until everything is just melted together. You want all the chocolate chips or the white chocolate chips to be melted. So hang in there, I'll be right back. Now here I am back. I have it all mixed together, and you need to work pretty quick with this, so I'm going to get right at it. I put it in there a total of 1 minute and 20 seconds, but you can't afford to trust that my microwave is the same as yours, so make sure you do it in the 10-second increments. I'm just going to mix in the cookies and make sure I have them as well mixed as I can, because right now this is starting to cool already and it will set up quite quickly. So here I go. I'm going to get this into the pan. Now, I guess you can imagine, if you're doing the math on your end, that this isn't exactly a budget recipe, but as I said earlier, sometimes we have to do what we have to do. The ingredients, you can certainly look for them at the dollar stores. Here in Canada, we have some of our dollar stores or bargain stores have all the ingredients that you need. They definitely don't need to be name brand to make this a delicious dish. So, there we go. Number 2. Now this goes into the refrigerator and you refrigerate it for about 2 hours and then take it out and cut it and prepare to be amazed. If you're a white chocolate lover, this would be a good gift for anybody that enjoyed white chocolate. I also think you could use, if you didn't care for the Oreo wafers that are, or the Oreo cookies that are chocolate, that you could use their golden ones as well. I think you know the ones I'm talking about. Okay, on to the next one. Well, this is similar to the last one in that it only takes a few minutes to make it. It isn't your mother's fudge, but it will certainly do the trick and impress the people that you may share it with and give you a little break as well. So we're going to measure out 2 cups. I've got milk chocolate here, chocolate chips, and you should try and buy maybe a little better brand, but it's amazing how good they turn out regardless. Just reach for a spoon, and in goes 1 can of Eagle brand evaporated milk. Same process as before. This will go into the microwave oven, 10-second increments. I really have trouble saying that combination of words together. 10-second 10-second increments is what we need to do so that we don't scorch the chocolate. Now, once this comes out of the microwave oven, we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla to it. I'm using artificial vanilla today, and this might be a spot you could use your good vanilla. I don't have any good vanilla right now, so I'm using what I have on hand. I will, before I put this into the microwave and have to stand 10 to it, I am going to take another one of these disposable tin foils and turn my bag back around, and I'm going to butter up this tray as well. Get that all done. I hope you guys are keeping well since I've been gone, and that everybody is on to the Christmas season in the however you enjoy that. It definitely is a wondrous time of the year. Now I'm done with this. I've just turned it back around and I'm going to put it into the garbage. Keeps your hands clean. Now, I'm all set with that. This recipe too, at the end you could add some chopped walnuts to it, but I have somebody in mind to give it to, and I know that they don't care for walnuts, so I'm going to leave them out. And off we go to the microwave. See you in about a minute and 20 seconds. And here I am back. It took about exactly the same amount of time to get it to where everything is melted. I'm going to use the lid off, I know this isn't very scientific, the lid off my vanilla container and put in a teaspoon. And I'm just going to mix that in. Really well. Make sure the edges are scraped in and it's nice and velvety. And here we go into the pan. we go. Just about all of it in there. Now I think you could get about maybe 8 good-sized bars, and I mean good-sized bars, out of this 9 by 9 foil pan. And if you find those little containers at the dollar store to put your Christmas baking in, definitely would I would get them and cut this into nice good-sized blocks and give them away to people that you think might appreciate them. So that is recipe number 3. Yes, I cheated the whole entire way, and I'm not even feeling bad about it because I'm just happy to be able to get it put together. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day wherever you are. As I've been talking to you, the snow has started to fall softly outside here, and it's looking really pretty where I am. So wherever you are, I hope you're having a fabulous day, and I will see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.